you people who relate can be aware, spread the word on this, to tell you you are most likely responsible for how you feel. I hate to say it, but it's your fault. If you isolate and you cut people off, and you have all this anxiety on the inside that is just so suffocating, and it makes you hate people. Every time you're in a crowd, you feel smothered, and you feel like no one understands you and that you're an outsider. Exactly how I felt. I've been seeing a lot of these videos, these teenagers who are fellow teenagers who are stuck in high school without any friends and sharing their experiences on here. I keep seeing them everywhere. I'm like, damn, is this the new hip Gen Z and Gen Alpha school experience? It's like, wow. I thought I was the only one. I guess that's exactly why it caught my attention. And seeing it documented all over the internet really opens my eyes. And it reminds me of exactly how I felt. And everybody always asks me, whenever they ask, oh, did you graduate high school? I'm like, yeah, I sure did. But when I'm honest and I say no, I've fucking hated school. I'm an artist. I am neurodivergent. I never fit in. And I'm sure if any of you relate to not having any friends, like you probably are too. And that means you do not fit in. You do not fit with other people. You are not going to click. You are not going to merge with other people the way that others naturally do, who are extroverted and confident and all these things that you obviously aren't. These are things that you have to learn from your peers who are also like you. And most people don't have the opportunity to do that. They're afraid. And that's what happens. It makes you self-isolate. The main reason I wanted to make this is so you people who relate can be aware of what I wasn't aware of when I was going through this. That's why I want to be here, to spread the word on this, to tell you you are most likely responsible for how you feel. I hate to say it, but it's your fault. If you isolate and you cut people off, and you have all this anxiety on the inside that is just so suffocating, and it makes you hate people. Every time you're in a crowd, you feel smothered, and you feel like no one understands you and that you're an outsider. Exactly how I felt. And I was trying so hard to fit in. I thought fitting in would be the answer. I really did. I thought that I was, like, if I just fit with these people who don't even know themselves, then maybe I'll be happy. Maybe I'll find somewhere I belong. I felt like every day was just the same thing over and over. I got so used to feeling like an outsider, like a freak, because that's how I felt like I was being treated, because of how different I am. And it's not something to be despised, that's something to be appreciated. Like, you are unique. Everyone is unique the way they are. You are such a blessing to be here. I don't care how different you are. They're just so ashamed for being who they are. It's so unfair because they can't control that. And I really understood them, because I would always get paired up with them because nobody picked me. And I look at me now and there's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm just a regular person. And there's so much to be proud of. You should never be taught that there's something wrong with you just because of how you act, just because you're a little different. I remember being taught in elementary school that you should treat people the way you want to be treated. I remember hearing that, and I was like, okay, I do that all the time. I'm innocent. I care about people. I want to love people. I want to tell them I love you. And it's so easy when you're a child. You don't have anything to be afraid of. But I saw very quickly that these people who told me that, they lied to me. They completely lied to me, because people really They really do not treat others the way that they would want to be treated, and if they did, the world would be so beautiful. It would be beautiful, and you would not want to isolate so much away from people. You would want to love people back, because you can really tell the difference when someone's loving and they have this pure, beautiful energy, godlike energy. And they're just so beautiful to be around because it's so rare. And I see that people lack that so much now. And it's such a distraction because it's everywhere. Especially now. It makes me so sad. I have so much empathy for them because I know they're in survival mode. Like, I've been in there too. Made me hate everyone and feel like everyone was trying to attack me. That's what it feels like. Like, subconsciously, I knew what I was doing was wrong. And I knew that I was the one pushing everyone away, and I was the one hurting people. Even if other people caused me to be this way, it does not make it right. And I wasn't able to really process that because I was 13 years old. And I had been through so much trauma at that point. I'll just say it, like, I was homeless a few months before I came into middle school in 8th grade. And I was in a terrible home environment. I never felt like I fit in school. Ever since kindergarten, I felt like an outcast. I felt like I didn't fit in. I even, dressed differently than other people. So ever since I first came in there, I didn't want to be myself. I didn't want to trust people. Because I guess I didn't trust my family. And I was always moving schools. Like, every few years I would move to another school because my family was unstable. You couldn't afford to stay anywhere. And it was so absolutely just confusing for me. It's like, why can't I stay anywhere? Why am I always the new kid? Every single time. And it was just so exposing. It's like, oh, please don't look at me. Like, and I can just tell how different I am and how much more quiet I am than other kids. And I didn't want them to see how different I was because they didn't know how to talk to me. I didn't know what to talk about with them. I ended up just going through so much because of my family. Of course, I could meet friends sometimes. And I met like a group of friends in 3rd grade, and we really just clicked. We were so awesome together. I made books with one of them. Literally like 5 or 6 books. They were all original. And I missed that so much. Because I was only there for a year and I had to move away again. I was so mad. I was like, are you kidding me? Because for once, I felt like I belonged somewhere. I felt like I could actually be myself around people, and that was so rare. And it was so unfair. I remember hating my family so much. Having to be mature. At 8 years old, I had to learn how to mask and learn how to be this different person. And like a little mini adult, basically, for my family, because they were stressed. My mom was stressed all the time. And I knew there wasn't any room for me, and that's what caused me to isolate for years. And to not value myself like a kid like I was. I never saw myself as one, and I still don't. I still look at myself and I see somehow that I'm like older and that I should know better, and it's hard to have compassion for me sometimes, and that's not true. But it does show like it is from your family. And we kept living with addicts too, and that was just a terrible environment for me. We were homeless at some point. 13 years old, I got to be homeless. I got to live in our car, sleep in a car for a few weeks. And that was so absolutely just mind-blowing to me. Only because we couldn't find anywhere, because we have a dog, of course. And they don't let you take in dogs to most places. And we just couldn't afford it. We couldn't save up. I didn't know what the next day would be. I didn't know where we would go. And the friends that I did have when I was homeless, like, they just magically disappeared. I noticed they were just completely gone. When I needed them most, they just disappeared. God, I hated them. I hated them so much. We didn't share any classes anymore. It's like, oh, that's so convenient and that's so nice that I don't have anyone to talk to about this. Oh, it's fucking awful what you have to go through sometimes. Like, I completely understand. People who hate others, like, I feel like it's necessary. It is. You're bound to hate people in this world because people are selfish. They are all capable of being selfish, and I am too. You just have to get that anger out, and I had to. But for the longest time, I didn't realize that I even had any anger. You know, the worst part about going through all of that, if it didn't last too long, it was a few weeks. It might have been like a month or two. But we had to move states, and like, my oldest brother passed away. I never had a chance to know. And we had to move a state up to get, we did get a house. It was a miracle. Like, I got to see a miracle happen before my eyes. But it didn't feel like one, of course, because I had to leave behind everything that I knew, even if I didn't have anything. God, that, like, emotionally wrecked me, because I didn't know we would stay when we came up here. Florida to Georgia. I had no idea we would stay until the funeral, and we decided that it is better to have a house, obviously, than to drive back down to Florida and not have anything, not even have any friends, basically. But instead of feeling all the anger that I had trapped in my heart, I just felt so, like, emotionally just numb, because I kept stuffing it down. Nothing was going to be the same. And I knew it would be so hard for me to meet people. I knew it. I was like, God help me. I get to move again. I get to move schools in 8th grade. That is a fucking nightmare. And it was. It was. I had full right to mourn. The beach, the seagulls, everything we had down there. The forest that I used to play in. The sticks I used to hoard. The rocks I used to hoard. I made games out of. Mainly just my identity that was down there for 13 years. How long? 13 years. There was nothing like walking into that middle school for the first time. And I still remember. What was the cherry on top was everyone was a different nationality than me. Like, God help me. I was one of the only white kids in the whole school. It was like, wow. Okay, so everybody was staring at me. Everybody was like, and I walked in there and I got like a unicorn over here. That's what it felt like. I did not feel special. I felt like a freak. I felt like, how am I ever going to meet anyone like me? And I just felt like a failure. I felt just the weight of everything I've been through. It gave me such toxic shame. And I can't even describe. I just hated myself so much. Because every time I had a chance to talk to someone, I didn't have any social skills. Because that isolation caught up with me all the ways I was just drawing and writing all the time. As talented as I am, it has caused me so many problems. And I could not talk to anyone, and they did not want to talk to me, and I felt that so hard, and I took it so personally. I took it as I am unlovable. And then I started feeling it. That no one was ever going to accept me. And then I felt like I couldn't even accept me. Because if I keep failing all the time, every time I try to get that connection that I know I need, I'm a failure. It's called ostracization. This is, you know what it feels like. That's the word. You are ostracized from all of these people. You can be surrounded by all these people. And my God, I hated people so much. I hated them so much. I saw all these people and I still feel it to this day. I still feel all that pent up anger because I'm like, why can't you just accept me? Why can't you talk to me? What did I do wrong? What did I do to be treated so different from people? I never did anything. I was always just me. And it's like people don't like it when you're you. I felt so alone walking through those halls, and I ended up sabotaging and clinging on to people. I would cling, like, please don't leave me. Please just be there for me. Anyone. I'll take anyone. I'll take the worst people. I'll take an alcoholic. I'll take addicts. I'll take weirdest people because I feel like that's what I deserve. I deserve to be abused because it's better than being alone. And I would skip class. I would stay up all night playing video games and drawing because I felt like that was my only worth. It's like I was born here to suffer. I felt so alone. And I would skip class and all I would do was just write thousands of words. I would draw. Bookloads of art to distract myself from what I felt. Because anything felt better than being in reality. I know I'm not the only one. Because I see people escaping all the time. And clinging on to nostalgia. Anything to distract themselves of their pain. So my emotions, they kept building and stacking and stacking and stacking. And I kept ignoring it. So it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Until one day, like, you can't bottle it up anymore. Like, you have limits. Like, you're a person. You're emotional. Whether we like it or not. We're not robots. I don't know what the fuck makes us think that we're robots and who is in charge to teach us to keep all these emotions stuck in our body. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but it was a mistake because you need to feel it. You need to, men especially need to feel this. Boys do, girls do. Big girls don't cry my ass. Yeah, big girls don't cry until they drink. And they finally feel all the things they've been bottling up, right? Because I had that in my experience. It was a field day. That field day was when everything just completely bombarded in my life. All those emotions, everything I was stuffing down, that self-hatred, the hatred for other people, the shame, all the ways no one helped me, and all the ways I didn't want to ask for help, it all just completely obliterated this facade of calm that I may or may not still have. This facade acting like I got everything under control, I'm independent, I don't need help, I can do this alone, I don't need friends. I'm always trying to meet people, and that's what triggered it. I tried one more time. I said, I'm going to try one more time. I can do this. Like, I wanted to believe in myself. I do not give up easy. I'll just force myself to be this different person that never had any anxiety in her life. God, I wish. And I will have friends. But I did it. It just had the complete opposite effect. I tried to talk to a guy I liked. That's what happened. That was a fucking mistake. I don't know what I was thinking. God help me. But I remember it didn't work out at all. And I felt so humiliated. I felt completely worthless. Like, why doesn't anything I try work? Why does this keep happening to me? I can't keep doing this. I can't keep hurting myself, because it felt like nothing I did was changing anything. And so just all the emotions just crashed into me all at once. It just felt like my world just fucking broke. I couldn't act like this didn't hurt me anymore. I couldn't hide it anymore, and I just ran off into the woods to the side, because I couldn't hide from it. I couldn't escape it anymore. There wasn't anything to distract me. It wasn't even just once. It was like 4 times I just had a breakdown. I had to keep just sobbing my heart out, because I just felt so unlovable. And I felt so betrayed by fucking everyone. And these people didn't even know me. They didn't know anything about me. I never gave them a chance to see who I was, and how lovable I was, and how talented, how good of a person I was, because I didn't want them to hurt me. I felt like they kept hurting me every time I tried to be myself. And I just could not stop crying. I felt like something was wrong with me, because no one else was sobbing. No one else shows any emotion, so what's wrong with me? And I've always been sensitive. I've always cried easy, and that's another reason why I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want them to make fun of me or bully me like people do, just for feeling slightly more than other people. Because when that was over for the first time, like, I didn't want people to see me crying. I didn't want them to... I don't want to feel exposed. And I saw people, I wanted to run to the bathroom, because that's where you go when this happens. You do it in the bathroom so people don't see you. And that was always my safe place. And I didn't want them to see me. So I tried to crawl into her fence that was next to me, and it was just so bad. I was so embarrassed. I tried to dig under like I used to dig when I was younger, and I could crawl under the fence, but I didn't dig it deep enough, so I got stuck. And it like hurt too, because I was really trying to like get under it. God help me. I was so dysregulated I couldn't think. And then these kids ended up finding me. I heard them. I was like, oh shit, they're gonna fucking see me. And it felt like the end of the world. I was so fucking scared. Because, oh god, they're gonna see me. Oh my god. Luckily for me, though, for some reason I didn't see there was like an open side of the fence right next to me. And I just completely didn't see it, because I was so focused on those kids. So, like, I scratched the shit out of my back, but I was able to run back to the school and just cry in the bathroom, because that's what I needed to do. I was just so fucking, like, it doesn't take much to be traumatic. Like, you always think of war, but that was so traumatic, because it just reminded me, and I was just so busy trying to run away from what I felt. And that really stuck with me, because it's like, damn, like, this really was a problem at that point. I hate to say it, that wasn't even where I learned how to deal with it. I just kept running until I got a job, customer service, and I really had to learn how to heal, but that's a lesson for another video. See, what I didn't expect was for all these things to just keep getting worse the more I kept ignoring it. Like, that's the thing about mental health, is it can start so subtle, you don't notice it. And then it just keeps building and building and getting worse and worse and worse and bigger and bigger and bigger, until you can't deny that you have a problem anymore. And that's what ended up happening to me. Because all of this stuff that I was going through, I kept acting like, I remember whenever I felt it, I felt so, I was just projecting how other people made me feel, how my family made me feel. They didn't understand. They thought I was being dramatic, so I started treating myself the same way. These feelings would come up, I'll just shut them down. I almost felt like I didn't deserve to be feeling this way. I don't deserve to be sad or angry, because these are all things I got shamed for. No one ever helped me with that. They didn't see emotional problems as anything real. They would just completely ignore me when I asked for help. And I remember that, so I would ignore myself when I asked for help. I'm like, I can't depend on anyone to help me. I can't depend on anyone. So you are bound to hate people in this world, this confusing ass nightmare of a world. It can be. It will be. Because you do need help. And there are people here who will not even help themselves. So why would they help you if they don't even help themselves, right? And these people are everywhere. Can't sugarcoat it. They are everywhere. I see them. They do scare me. They do. But I don't want them to scare me anymore, because they're just hurting. Just like I was. So many people are like doomers, acting like they don't care about the world or other people. Man, I see you. I see you. I see how sad you are. You are so sad. And you need to cry. You need to let all this out like I had to. My God, I had to sob my heart out because of all of this. Every night. I had to remember these memories I was blocking out, and I had to feel what I was feeling, and it's all just trapped energy. And it comes out as physical pain, tension in your shoulders. When it's anger, tension in your back, pain in your back, tension in your stomach, tension in your chest. It turns into chronic pain if you ignore it long enough, and I know that shit is everywhere, right? It went on for so long, I had to feel all of this, and that's how I'm here now. I'm willing to face my fears now, because I feel like I can finally move on after being trapped in that pain for so long. And it's the most rewarding experience I've had next to an awakening, because it is an awakening. You realize you don't have to live the way that you have been, and you can be a different person now. You don't have to be trapped in this pain anymore. You don't have to keep blaming yourself and other people for these perfectly understandable emotions you have, because they are real. It's real energy now. If you don't believe me now, oh God, you'll find out eventually, because the same thing will happen to you. It's like it happens to everyone. You can't numb out this stuff forever. You can't distract yourself forever. It doesn't matter how many movies you watch, or how much music you listen to, or how many drugs you take. This pain will come back, and it will make you feel it, whether you like it or not. It will attack you, and you will blame other people. You will blame the world. The last thing you'll want to do is blame yourself, but you have to take responsibility for it before you hurt everyone around you. And you hurt your family, and you isolate. And you act like you don't care about people when you do. And it's not easy. It's not easy to come back to reality when you've been running from it for so long. But it is possible. So the lesson to be learned from all this is there is hope. There is hope for you who understand this message. And God, I pray for you that you'll find peace in the way the world is right now, because it is built for isolation. There is no doubt about it to me. Absolutely no doubt that the world wants you to feel like a freak when you're neurodivergent, when you're different in any way, because it encourages division. It encourages us to be trapped in these little boxes that we call homes. And to be stuck on these devices that I'm using right now to record this makes me feel bad. But it's true. Like, we use this instead of talking to each other. And that is so twisted. That is absolutely twisted that the world is like this right now, because we need face-to-face communication. But more importantly, we need to just help each other. Like, we need to be a community. We need to look out for each other and love each other, because we are all struggling right now. The isolation could not be more strong, could not be more normalized right now. And there is a way you can get out of this. Just like I am practicing and I've gotten better at my job. So I'll go into that in another video about my awakening and how I stopped letting this anxiety control me, because I used to not even be able to make videos of myself. Like, that felt literally impossible, but I'm facing it right now. So I would love to teach you how to do that too. Take or leave this advice, and just know that there's so much more life to live than the ways that dysfunctional people teach you. Like, do not let these people who have shamed you and taught you that you are unlovable, do not let them win. Do not let them control you, because they are not of God. Like, there are demons in this world. That's how I see it. There's evil everywhere, and it is just waiting to attack you. You know why? Because you have so much potential to be a better person. Like, everyone has opportunity to be so much more than they are. And we all need to feel that right now. You do not need to let the evil win, because all it will do is bring you down and make you depressed. Like, I definitely was in school. And it makes you hate yourself. But what kind of life is that to live? Why would you want to live like that? Why would you want to believe that the world is just a place where we just hurt each other, and then we work and then we die? Like, no, I don't think that's what people realize they're doing when they're being pessimistic. Like, that's what they're saying is, I don't deserve to live the way I know I'm capable of living. Because that's how I used to be too. Until my friend snapped me out of it. She was like, what the hell are you talking about? I needed her to tell me. Yeah. But it took me a while to learn that. So, I hope you learned something from this. Stay tuned for the next one if you wish. And go out and enjoy the beauty of the world while you can. And even if recovery will be hard, because it will, hey, I'm not gonna lie, it feels fucking impossible. Sometimes I'm like, how the hell did I make it this far? Like, how am I not dead right now after going through all that? You know, because miracles can happen. That's my only answer for that. That's the only reason I can think of, because I feel like I should be dead. I feel like I should be hating the world with all these other people, but somehow I was like, what the fuck? What am I doing? Who taught me this? And how can I just slaughter the voice in my head that tells me that what they told me was true? Because they're not in my life anymore. So that person might as well be dead.